Hello, everybody. Welcome back to FiestaWatch, episode 4 of season 2. And I'm your host, Noah. Joining me is host Wyatt. Host Wyatt, what's up?
I'm doing well, host Noah. It's been an interesting week of League of Legends, and got some things to talk about. Some teams finally won some games. Finally look like they're on the upward turn there, so that's good to see.
Shaking off the early season rust, Wyatt. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the LCK today. So last night, let's just talk about the games that happened.
Yep.
Two kind of interesting series for different reasons. Let's start with the first one, though. Barbecue Olivers versus SK Telecom T1. Is this good for SKT?
Like it's good in that like their wins were solid. Like I think both of the wins were like 30 minutes and change, like pretty solid wins. Even in the beginning of game 3 though, I'm still worried about their rookies because BBQ abused both Thal and Blossom because they put Blossom in the jungle for this game. And they had Wolf at support. So they abused both of those guys. I think they had like 4 deaths in the first 12 minutes or something like that.
Jesus.
So it was amazing that SKT was even able to bring it back. But
were they just like laning mistakes, or was it like?
They were just getting outplayed. Outplayed, caught out. Like it was rough. Like, and that's why, the fact that they were able to turn it around, like, okay, good, they got a game. They're not 1-5 anymore. They're 2-5. They ended their like franchise long losing streak. But when they play against any other team that's not BBQ, like you lose that game.
It's BBQ.
Yeah. So like, you did it against BBQ, but you've got KSV coming up this week, and then next week they're looking okay. They've got Kongdu and Rock, so like not too bad. But then you've got Afrika and Jin Air in week 6.
Oh, back
so
to
it's
back.
Like,
yeah. Do you think the SKT rookies will be ready by then?
You hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing that worries me is like because I don't know. They went with Blossom all 3 games in this series, but they still got Blank. So I don't know if going against KSV, if they're going to put Blank back in because Blank has more experience, and that's like a bigger matchup.
But what's Blank's record this year? Like,
well, I mean, what's any of the team's record? Like they.
So hey, Blossom has a win. How many?
Well, I mean, so does Blank because I'm pretty sure this was the first time Blossom had played. So Blank had the first win when they beat Rocks 2-1.
Rocks,
to open the series. But even then, like beating like their
Rocks and Barbecue,
both of their wins are 2-1 wins against Rocks and Barbecue,
and they both took a fucking forever, if I remember correctly, right?
Like I forget the first game was so long ago, but like last night's game, like game 2, the game they lost to BBQ, 74 minutes, like. Jesus. 74 minutes, and basically like BBQ had an early lead and SKT just stalled like crazy and tried to get back in, but they never really got a foothold. They would BBQ would take down an inhibitor, it would respawn, they take it down again, and respawn, and it was it was just not a good look. Like, yeah, you got the win, but you barely got a win against BBQ. So like, I'm not really confident against. With this team playing against really anybody else.
Right. That's so damn unfortunate. I'm looking for Barbecue, but like whatever. At the same time, not whatever. That's.
Not whatever. Like, I mean, because Barbecue, like, I mean,
they have the same record as SKT. To be fair.
Yeah, they're 2-5. Like, they're not terrible. They've got wins against. They beat Jin Air, so that was that's a pretty big win. Jin Air is a top 5 team right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So good win there, but.
Jacket on.
That's a nice jacket, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so that was interesting. But then the second game of the night, you had Kingzone absolutely stomping KT.
Oh my god!
And it wasn't even close. Like, it was 2-0. Whereas the first series, I think from start to finish, it took about 3.5 hours. It didn't end until about 3:30 my time. And then, so the next series didn't start till like 4, but it was over by like 6. So like they
made up for lost time.
Yeah, they really did. They completely stomped. Everybody looked good. Peanut went off. BDD went off. Prey Gorilla, like literally everybody was popping off. So this team continues to show that, while they did get 2-0 to start the season in the very first game against KSV, they've won 6 in a row now.
Right.
And not only 6 in a row, but they've won 12 games in a row. They have not dropped a single game.
And they've looked decisive in every single win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm reading some of these stats now. Pawn went 1-5-2 in game 1 as Galio. That's pretty yikes right there. Like, Pawn's Galio. Pawn, I remember Pawn last year. He played so much of this champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That really safe mid laner who had like wave clear, and he was just a big tank, and you can help your top lane carry. To me, it looks like almost the Pawn and Smeb connection just got obliterated by BDD and Khan. Talk to me about the solo lane matchups. In
series. Like the solo lanes, like watching BDD and Khan, especially like looking at last split, like they like Khan's good, like he's always been good, but it just seems like
not always. He went to China and then he came back and he was a god.
Yeah, so like the last split he was good. I mean, they won the summer split, and then but Khan and BDD are playing out of their minds right now. Like they're winning every matchup, which I think is good because it allows Peanut to kind of be more free. Because when Peanut was on SKT, top lane was always kind of shaky last season, so he kind of had to do a little bit more. But now with Khan and BDD, he can just go back and forth between the lanes and do whatever he wants. And it's helping because he went deathless. I think he was like I want to say like 6-0-16 or some shit like that.
6-0-19. I'm looking at it right now. Wow.
Between 2 games like that, you can't really ask more from that from your jungler.
Like solid early game aggression as these tanks, making big plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut may be back to form.
Exactly. Yeah, he's looking good. And then Prey and Gorilla in the bot lane, like Gorilla continues to have these plays where he somehow is living. And he's like barely escaping, which has to be completely demoralizing for like a KT Rolster team who is just trying to like get anything going.
It doesn't last forever. At some point, he's gonna fix those mistakes. I mean, it won't happen as much.
Yeah,
hopefully.
But it's just like from top to bottom, this team is just looking super super strong. And it's like I don't really know who's gonna beat them at this point. Like they've got. I mean, they're playing Jin Air this week, so that'll be a pretty good matchup.
KSV?
I mean, that's I think the biggest match left for them because they're almost done with the first round robin. All they have left is they've got Jin Air this week, and then next week they've got BBQ and Afrika.
Okay.
And then it's starting over. Actually, no, they've already played Afrika. So yeah, all they've got is 2 games left in this first round robin, and then they're going back again. So I think they've already shown that they can beat every other team. So that KSV matchup is going to be probably the biggest one for them, and it doesn't come until week 9. So we'll have to wait a while.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. That. So it doesn't matter that KSV lost to Rocks.
Exactly. Yeah. So
really quick, KSV lost to Rocks. Okay.
This one, it was honestly kind of confusing because like KSV came into the series looking pretty strong. They had won. They won 2-0 last week, although they did lose to Kongdu Monster in week 2, which was kind of suspect. And I think the fact that they've now lost to Kongdu and they've lost to Rocks, like while it's good that they're beating the better teams in the standings, like you can't lose to the lower teams because if you're losing to the lower teams and then Kingzone is beating everybody, that's just like you're never going to be able to get up into the standings. And not only that, but you're just like you're setting yourself up for failure sooner or later.
Right. I mean, I think ultimately, Samsung feels like SKT from previous years, where like they kind of just drop random games sometimes.
Yeah.
But by the end of the split, they are peaking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Coming to playoffs with a head full of steam. I think I will admit it's too early to say these things like presumptively, like that's what's happening. But I think there's a trend of formidable champions going through these rises and dips in terms of form. So
yeah,
I'm not too worried about it. If you're not.
Yeah, no, I think come April when playoffs come, I'm pretty sure we're going to be watching Kingzone and KSV in the finals. I'd be super surprised unless something happens over the next 6 weeks, which is possible. But I think we've got almost 4 full weeks of games. We're almost done with the first round robin. We have a pretty good idea of where the teams are at. So unless something major happens,
here's the thing. There's this guy named Faker. He's pretty good. What if I'm just saying. I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna start planting the seeds of doubt in your mind. Let's see if this comes to fruition. But I think there's a possibility if SKT's rookies are good and they get on the same page with and then like the team starts gelling together and they find a good roster, a good lineup that works for them. I think they might have potential because the rookies are supposed to be like just mechanical gods, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, and that's the thing. Like, all they have to do, even if they have to run the gauntlet, if they've got to play, go through all 5 games,
do it. It's the SKT special. You run through the gauntlet and kill everyone 2-0.
Yeah, so like it's possible. Like I said, things can happen, but they would, and it's not even just Faker. Like everyone else, because Faker has been doing his job this entire split so far. It's been everybody else who is just not holding their weight. So if he can finally get some help, which you have to think law of averages eventually
somebody will help Faker,
But if that happens, like of course SKT, you can always like they're SKT. You can never fully count them out. But so far
they count them out until they're actually dead.
Exactly. So, but I think it'll be interesting to watch the next few weeks. But
speaking of interesting to watch over the next few weeks, I'm going to use that as a lazy transition over to European League of Legends, EULCS. Vitality on top of the world right now at a 5-1 record. This team took everybody by surprise. Were you expecting anything from them, Wyatt? I think we have it on documented. We've documented that neither of us expected this shit.
Like Vitality, because like the last like 2 years, Vitality, they've just
they went from like fringe 6th, 7th, to like laughing stock, and now it's like, okay, who are these mysterious gentlemen, and why are they smashing everybody in Europe?
Yeah, they're playing, and like I think like a lot of it is just like his play in the mid lane has been absolutely fantastic. Like he's been playing lights out. Doesn't matter what champion he's on. He's been just straight up dominating, and I think it caught a lot of the teams off guard just because he's fresh blood. Like they haven't really seen how he is yet, so they're just kind of like, all right, like who is this guy?
He's just this new guy. Yeah, exactly. Like he's just this random Italian dude. Like I don't know any Italian pros except for him.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been like playing lights out, and because they're beating everybody too, like, and pretty handily. Like a lot of their games aren't really that close, but they're kind of just going around and picking up wins left and right. They lost to Misfits, but like
whatever. It's Misfits. I think Misfits. Okay, so if you go based on the standings, Misfits is currently tied with Giants for second, but I think Misfits is the second best team in Europe.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, especially, which is weird because I think after week 1, we both said like this Misfits team looks different. We weren't really impressed with what we saw in the first week. When they lost to G2, they beat Schalke. Hey, I said it right.
Nice.
I'm learning. And then, but like ever since then, they've been showing up really good. And I mean, last week they had that incredible. Was against Fnatic? Yeah, Fnatic. The game that went 64 minutes. Like it was a ridiculous back and forth. But they pulled it off. So I think grinding out those gritty games, like that's a testament to like kind of where they've evolved, even just within a couple weeks from week 1.
Right. Let's talk about Giants a little bit though. If that's fine with you. I want to go into like we've started to see the cracks in their armor, right? Is that fair to say?
I think so.
Yeah. And to me, I'm worried that if okay, well, let me rephrase it in the form of a question so I can incorporate you. Who needs to avoid having a bad game on Giants in order for them to win? Or do you think it's like a House of Cards thing? If one of them falters, all of them crumble?
I honestly think it's kind of like a House of Cards. Like, while they do have key members, like the way that they play, it seems like they just need to have everybody kind of on the same page. And if one person falls off, they're just like, shit, what do we do? And then they just all kind of lose track of what they're doing, and then they just kind of crumble like they did against Schalke.
Right.
Schalke, God damn
it. Come on, you're so close. But yeah, like Schalke obliterated them.
Yeah, like that was it was a very one-sided series, which I didn't really expect. Like Schalke has been good. Like don't get me wrong.
Why are in Europe their games?
I mean, yeah, But
that's also
like,
the thing. Best of one. It's
mhm.
hard. It's more difficult to make like accurate reads, because you can just
Yeah.
get or like some random shit happens. There's no adaptation in the middle of a series, but at the same time, it's easier to watch one game at a time. I think. At this point in the season, do you miss best of 3 series in Europe? Or no,
So,
do they play best of 3 or best of 2?
no, they were best of threes last split.
Okay.
Yeah,
so best of 3. Do you miss it?
No, not at all. Especially with this meta, I'm very glad that
Mhm.
both EU and especially because for whatever reason, EU and NA have just latched on to this late game. I'm just gonna sit and farm for 45 minutes until I try to win a single team fight.
It's because
to win the
nobody
game.
knows how to close games.
Yeah, because like they're not playing on they're playing on the same patch as Korea, and Korea, yeah, they've had some pretty long games, but on the whole, like they've always been like had the propensity to have long games. Like
Yeah.
Korea's average game time is basically the same as it's been for like 2 years, so it's really not that much of a difference.
They're
but
trying
like,
to beat Korea, but like they're bad at it.
exactly, yeah. It's just like it's just so rough to watch. It's like somebody finish the game. I mean, I think it's worse in NA than it is in EU. Like I actually like whereas last split I think we all hated watching EU. Like I'd actually rather watch EU this split than watch NA.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree. EU has been interesting this year, especially since we have like the kind of changing of the guard. Unicorns of Love finally picked up their first win, and you look at the bottom of the standings, and it's Fnatic, H2K, and Unicorns of Love. And Fnatic is only at the bottom of the standings because there's like a 6-way tie for fourth or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
there's
5 teams that are 3-3. So and then there's H2K and Unicorns of Love that only
like
have
the middle of the pack is so like tight, and then Unicorns of Love and H2K is just tragedy.
Yeah, which like going from last split
Like,
where
from K-Draw to Selfie.
yeah, it's just like it's so weird, especially like H2K being a team that just 2 years ago were in the semifinals.
They were
Like,
you know what that means? That means they were one of the 4 best teams in the world, Wyatt. They
exactly.
were the 4 best teams in all of the world, and you can't say otherwise because they came 3rd, 4th in the bracket.
Exactly.
And who else lost in the losers bracket? It was probably a Chinese team or another Korean team.
I think so. Yeah. Well, it was
HGK would have beat them though. It's fine.
It was Rocks, right?
Yeah,
sure. SKT Rocks that year, I think.
Yep. Yep. And then there was another Korean team in there somewhere.
Yeah, I forget.
Whatever. That's in the past.
It was
Samsung.
Samsung.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Samsung. But that's in the past. This is now. And right now, I want to kind of go over our earlier expectations from the beginning of this year and see where we're at. Right.
Yeah.
What did we expect from G2? Let's start there. I expected them to be rebuilding, but fine. I think. Right.
Yeah, like I mean, losing Sven and Mithi, like obviously that's a pretty big hit to that the core of that team. So like they were gonna.
David Kjarnan is workable though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they're not. They got pretty good replacements, but like it was still gonna probably have some like growing pains. I don't know if I expected them to be like barely 3-3 at this point in the split, with like some losses that are kind of like suspect.
But it's the beginning of the year and it's a new team.
Sure, but I think
and TSM had identical off seasons.
That's very I mean, it's very true, and they're both on the up and up. So I mean, because give them credit. G2 went 2-0 this week.
Yep.
So you gotta give credit where credit's due.
It's one of those weeks they should have gone 2-0, but don't take that away from them. They did it. They did
exactly. They did it, and they're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Fnatic. Do we expect this kind of start out of them?
I mean, I think this is kind of what I expect from Fnatic. Fnatic's that team that's just always kind of like they're there. Like they can either be really good or really bad. It just kind of depends on how they're feeling that day, I guess. Like, does Reckless want to pop off? Like, stuff like that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like a check. It's just like okay, did Reckless pop off? No, okay. They probably kind of struggle a little bit.
Better luck next time.
Although, I mean, I will say that the way they're not completely tailoring their game around Reckless anymore, which I think is good, because like last split, it was Reckless or bust, like completely.
Caps is still like orbiting the bot lane basically, right?
Yeah.
Or is he like? Okay, I haven't watched enough Fnatic games, but I've been reading a lot of like post game commentary and of course the recaps available at ESPN.com/esports. And to me, it sounds like Broxa and Caps are on the same page right now. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're synergizing pretty well, which I think is good, and that's why I think.
Oh no, they're not on the same page. Sorry.
Oh, not on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think like that's one that's like they've always kind of been sort of there and not like necessarily like together, which I think is why they've always relied on Reckless so much. So like, but like I said, I think overall like they haven't been. It hasn't been like the complete like 100% Reckless show.
Okay. Yeah. It wasn't last beginning of last spring.
Yeah, like last split where it was just like, all right, we're gonna give him
all the resources.
What was it, Tristana every game, or was it Tristana?
Kennen. It was like Kennen and then
Kennen,
Tristana.
Kennen
and then Tristana because they could because they were both good split pushers and he would just split push.
Exactly. So like they're not doing that as much anymore. So they're kind of playing a more overall team game.
Yep.
Which is a good evolution because like it clearly was just not always working out well for them last split. So, but I mean 3-3, like they're in a 5-way tie. Like it's still early.
Yeah.
And it's best of one, so it's like it's still a little bit more finicky. They've got unicorns this week, so like they should win that game pretty easily. They'll probably lose to Giants, though, to be honest, because Giants is still one of the top teams. So,
yep. For now.
Yeah. We'll see how
it goes. Had a good start. Yeah. I'm still unconvinced. I'll be quite honest with Giants. I need to see more from them. I need to see them play everybody in a rotation first before I'm prepared to say that they're. Because like we've seen it before in other regions. We've seen it in Europe. Even teams will get out to these hot starts and then they'll cool like that, and then they sink like a stone all the way back to the bottom. But for now, Giants looks good. Anything else you want to talk about EU before we move on to NA?
No, I think that's it. Although we do have we got Ethan in chat talking about from Noah 2018 says Broxa has an impossibly large mouth.
It's true. If you ever watch him on like the player cam when he's talking, it like his head goes from occupying like roughly half of the camera, like 3/4. It's insane.
So there's your EU fun fact for the week.
Hey man, I didn't ask to see it. I just saw it, and now I can't unsee it. Now we're moving on to NA. Thanks, Ethan. Last week was a week. CLG beat Echo Fox. Good for CLG.
Yeah, good for CLG. Like that was a really big win. Yeah, that was a really big win. Like they needed a 2-0 week.
And this is a good 2-0 week to pick up because now you don't have to deal with Echo Fox, who's been the best team in the league so far. Yeah. Well, maybe not after this week. I don't know how you.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard. Like Echo Fox has been good, but like Cloud9 and Team Liquid have also been very good. Like those three are like really close, I think, so far. Like because TSM has been, I mean not TSM, Liquid's been winning super easily. I think they won games in like 27 minutes and 26 minutes last week. So they picked up some pretty easy wins. But granted, they were playing against FlyQuest and Golden Guardians, so like you should win those games pretty easily.
Well, we'll get to Liquid in a bit. I want to focus on the CLG matchup first, and then we'll talk about where we think everybody is because I think it's a little bit more complicated than that in terms of like power ranking. But let's return back to CLG. How did they beat Echo Fox? Let's get there.
Like, I think it feels like they just outmuscled them, which is surprising.
Right? Because that's like Echo Fox is like a body team. Like they will mechanic you to death and pray that you die. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So like the fact that they played that well, because like after the first 2 weeks, like I don't think anybody really thought that highly of CLG. Like they looked pretty rough. They didn't really seem like they knew what their play style should be. Like they seemed very timid. They just all around just didn't seem that strong. But in which would have conceivably led to a pretty big loss or like a lopsided loss to Echo Fox. But
they showed up.
Yeah,
Do you know
they
what it
showed up.
was? The cult of friendship finally. Everybody finally joined the cult of friendship. They did the ceremony. You know, they wore the robes. Like if you look, CLG had they won 2 big team fights with aces that led to barons and wins,
Mhm.
or like big objectives and wins. They had
Yeah.
great objective control with Reignover's Nunu. I don't know why Reignover was allowed to get Nunu. Seems like a bit of a misplay in hindsight. Looking at the bans real quick, also, like the Aurelian Soul, Tom, Kench, and Sejuani, and then they gave Huni GP, and Darshan showed up in a big way as Nar. In order to shut down Huni and prevent him from carrying the game. Darshan's been really up and down recently. How do you rank him as a top laner in terms of this league right now?
I feel like he's not as good as he was last. Like I think his summer split of 2017 was probably like one of his better splits.
Okay.
And then now he just seems like he's kind of, I guess, trying to adjust to the new CLG.
Okay.
Like
So-
I think, like this game was a really good showing. Like this was a positive sign for his gameplay. I think.
All right. If you had to rank him against other NA tops though, like is he top 5, top 6, top 4?
I'd put him in top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd put him in top 5. Just looking at everybody else across the league, like I think he could fit into the top 5.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I think I agree. I didn't watch the game. I did watch Liquid and FlyQuest. Liquid put a hurting on them. They did whatever they wanted. Liquid knows what the hell they're doing. I think Liquid is the best team in the league. Again, they took the crown back from Echo Fox.
I think so. I mean, like, especially just because like the way they're winning games is it. And we talked about earlier when we were talking about EU, like NA has adopted this super hyper late game focused strategies like from all the teams. So the fact that Liquid is out here just clapping people and winning games in under 30 minutes
feels
like
good, man.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like they had wins of 27 and 26 this week. They beat Clutch in 27 minutes last week. Their game against 100 Thieves went like 46 minutes, but like that was because 100 Thieves just kind of like stalled things out a lot. But like they've been consistently winning these pretty short games.
Not only that, Pobelter is clapping everybody too.
Yeah.
Like, Pobelter's been popping off recently. This is his meta. Remember at the beginning of the year, he did an interview and he was like, I want to prove that I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
Like he's
doing
really
it.
good. Yeah, he's doing it so far. MVP in my mind, I think he's MVP candidate right now.
I think so, especially like because I watched the Golden Guardians game.
Well, we can't decide MVP off the Golden Guardians game.
I mean, yeah, you can't. But still, like he's been playing good just across the board. Like he's crisp. He's just kind of like really on it. So like hats off to them.
He's just outplaying ganks and just allowing Smithy to do whatever he wants.
Yep.
You know what this team like Immortals Plus is doing great, which I expected and hoped for.
Yeah.
It's Immortals Plus better top laner arguably and AD carry definitely.
Yeah.
And like I liked Immortals. I like Double Lift and Impact.
Yeah,
I mean, team that'd be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean Immortals like last split Immortals was really good.
Yep. It was just like TSM was just better.
Yeah.
They had Double Lift. Right there. They had Double Lift.
Yeah, exactly.
TSM took a 2-0 week over Golden Guardians. Nothing too special, but like it was a good game and it wasn't shit. And then they beat 100 Thieves and they looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think this was a really big
huge week for TSM.
Yeah, like this was a statement week for TSM because they were 1-3 coming into the week. They did not look very strong. Even the one win they had was against Optic, and even that took 62 minutes in week 2. So, I think they needed to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
If they had lost either one of these games and came out of this week at like 2-4, I think we'd be having a very different conversation. But
for sure, right now, but it looks like things are finally firing on all cylinders for this team, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Flana. Although at the same time, it's the usual suspects of like Waltzer and Bjergsen doing everything.
Same old shit.
Jeez.
I think it's just unlucky that's in the 100 Thieves game, Sven ended with a 0.16 KDA.
Yeah, like when your AD carry has no kills, and then your top laner and your mid, like just the fact that your mid laner and top laner have all the kills for your team, like between the two of them. I mean, they're good players. I'll give you that, but like,
that tells me that it was a lot of just like picks, you know.
Yeah.
TSM just made a bunch of picks, and 100 Thieves. I think if they have a problem right now, it's that their map rotations aren't too clean. Like they're good, they're decent at team fighting, I think, but like
yeah, they're not bad. Yeah,
they're not bad, but they're not great.
Yeah, it's more so their macro play. Just seems pretty rough right now.
They're learning. They're
yeah,
I mean, it's teams that are being coached. So like,
yeah, they're being coached. Like they're all like, I don't think any of them have played together before. So it's like it's very much
you and Meteos briefly.
Okay, yeah, but
you and Meteos briefly.
But like the rest of them, the other three, it's just like this is just 5 dudes just kind of thrown together like 2 months before the season and expected to be like, you know, something special. So
right.
I mean, they're still like, you know, I think they're 4-2, so like they're doing okay, I think, all things considered. So, and they have a pretty easy week this week, so
right,
they should theoretically be sitting pretty well going into like the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, hell yeah! Shout out. Let's see. I don't want to talk about Golden Guardians. They're sad. I'm not going there. Let's do some power rankings. I think we have 3 teams at 5-1, and then 100 Thieves, and then just a bunch of other teams. So do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
I mean, I think if we go like the bottom half, like the teams that are under 500, like I think they're just kind of there. You know,
you think they fall in order?
Yeah, like FlyQuest, Clutch, Optic, and Golden Guardians, like
so
they all look pretty bad.
Yep. So here's my question. So Golden Guardians 10th, Optic 9th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's 8th? Clutch or FlyQuest?
I think I put FlyQuest at 8 and put Clutch at 7.
I think I agree, but like, you know, Clutch is not doing itself any favor. Oh wait, no, it won this week, did it?
No, they went 0-2. They lost to 100 Thieves and Cloud9.
Oh, they went 1-1.
Yeah, last week was when they won
1-1, 1-1, 0-2.
Yeah, and even one of their wins was CLG was literally just flinging themselves with Bevan over and over. So
the feed game.
Yeah, so they kind of had to win that game, or it would have been pretty terrible.
Yeah, so I agree with that for the most part. So now number 6. Who's the 6th best team in the league? Power rankings, not just by
Yeah. I think I put CLG at 6.
Okay.
And then I put TSM at 5, just because like they have the same record, but I feel more confident in the trajectory of TSM than I do CLG. I think it's like CLG's win, don't get me wrong, over Echo Fox was really good, but until they can be consistent, I don't think they can actually do that like every week at this point.
I think in my mind, I've got CLG 6th for all the reasons you just said, right?
Yeah.
But also but TSM beat 100 Thieves. And we have to start asking ourselves questions about 100 Thieves. Right?
Yeah.
Like, who did this team actually beat? They beat TSM week 1. No. They didn't beat TSM.
No.
They beat CLG week 1. They beat CLG week 1. They beat Optic.
Who are terrible.
They beat Liquid, and that was a big win. And then they lost to Cloud9. And then they beat Clutch and lost to TSM. It's a random assortment of upper tier teams that these guys are losing to.
Yeah.
Do we feel comfortable putting them in the top 4?
I think I do, just because they have not yet lost to like a bad team. Okay. Well, they lost to TSM, sure, but like I think
But
TSM.
it's TSM. We expect more. We
Exactly.
expect more, and they've shown more. And they've shown
Mhm.
more than other top.
Exactly. Like, but when it comes to the other teams, like
Playing
they,
SKT at this point.
but like they've shown up when they needed to. Like they beat Optic, beat CLG, you know, beat
They've
in clutch.
yeah, whoever it was, they've been rolling.
Yeah, so like, but like they're they lost to Cloud9, but they beat.
They really are just H2K, but like in America.
Yeah,
it's so like I never realized it was so probably. I could have sworn it was like other factors, but okay, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So TSM 5, 100 Thieves 4, number 3, Liquid, Cloud9, or Echo Fox. Who's the third best team?
I'm gonna go with Cloud9.
Okay.
Mainly because like all these teams are really good. Like I mean, I think they're not teams where like their records are like not indicative of their actual play. Like they've had fluky wins. Like these teams are legit. Like they're 5-1 for a reason. But like I think just out of the three, like Liquid's dominance, like I said, we just mentioned they lost to 100 Thieves, but like 100 Thieves is kind of in that upper echelon with them, so that's not like a black mark or anything like that. Like 100 Thieves is a good team, right. But like their dominance against everybody else has been incredible. For that alone, like that's why I think they're the best. And then
you think Echo Fox is number 1, or
no? I think Liquid's number 1.
Okay, yeah, Liquid number 1.
And then I think Echo Fox is 2.
Okay.
Because outside of Liquid, Echo Fox has been the next most dominant team in the league.
Yep.
Like I said, again, they have the loss to CLG, which I think if they continue to lose games like that, then I think we might have a bit.
Echo Fox also beat Cloud9.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
do you think it was too early in the league or too early in the season for it to matter though, or for it to like truly count?
No, I think it still counts.
Week 2 win.
I think with the way all these teams have been so far, and the nature of the best of one, like I think the best of one alone is kind of like I think
it's hard to get a good data set.
So like, but I think like the fact that these are best of ones matters more than like, oh, was it 1 or week 2 in my mind? Because like best of ones are just so fluky anyways that it doesn't really matter if it was week 1 or week 2.
Well, obviously, like, good teams get better as the season goes on, but like,
I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
But I think these teams are just good. Yeah. But I think this week will be the big test because Liquid is playing Echo Fox. So
Liquid versus Echo Fox. Really quick prediction before we get out of here.
I'm gonna say Liquid. I think Liquid pulls it out.
I agree. Okay. Thank everybody for tuning in. Our Twitters are down below our little nameplates. Stick around. We will be right back with Around the Hoot, the Overwatch League podcast. Week 5 of Stage 1 is coming up, and you don't want to miss our playoff predictions, where we all say different Korean teams. Stick around.